Welcome to my YouTube channel, Family Drama Files. Please like, share, subscribe for more emotional videos.
The day my wife packed her bags, she smiled and said I was nothing without her. She believed her new man had just won millions in the lottery, and their dream life had finally begun. She laughed when she signed the divorce papers without reading every page. What she never realized was that I already knew the truth about that ticket. I had spent months preparing for the exact moment she would betray me. By the time she understood what had happened, it was already too late. She lost everything, while I walked away with my freedom and every dollar I had earned. Stay until the end because the final courtroom moment changed every life in that room forever. My name is Victor. For 15 years, I believed I had built the perfect marriage with my wife Grace. We own a comfortable home. We had savings. We planned vacations together. I worked long hours while she managed our home. I trusted her without question because that is what a husband is supposed to do. Then small things started changing. She spent more time on her phone. She became distant. She smiled at messages she refused to explain. Whenever I asked if something was wrong, she accused me of being insecure. I wanted to believe her because the truth was too painful to imagine. One evening, I came home early and saw a luxury car parked outside our house. It disappeared before I reached the driveway. Grace claimed it belonged to a neighbor. Something inside me refused to believe that story. Instead of confronting her again, I quietly hired a private investigator. Within weeks, I received photographs that destroyed my entire world. Grace had been seeing another man named Trevor for almost a year. They met in expensive restaurants and hotels, while I worked overtime to pay our bills. I wanted to explode with anger. Instead, I stayed calm. The investigator told me something unexpected. Trevor had become obsessed with lottery tickets. Every week, he spent thousands believing one jackpot would make him rich. A month later, the local news announced a massive lottery winner from our city. Trevor celebrated everywhere. Grace suddenly changed overnight. She told me she no longer loved me and wanted a divorce immediately. She said she deserved happiness and a better future. She thought she had found her millionaire. What she never knew was that I had already spoken to my lawyer months earlier. We had legally separated my business assets and protected everything I owned before she even asked for divorce. Every document was prepared according to the law. She rushed to sign because she believed she would never need anything from me again. She proudly moved into Trevor's luxury apartment while mocking my simple life. Friends stopped calling because she had already told everyone I was a failure. I remained silent because I knew the truth would arrive soon enough. 3 weeks later, the real lottery announcement shocked everyone. Trevor was never the jackpot winner. He had only claimed the ticket belonged to him while investigators verified ownership. The winning ticket actually belonged to an elderly couple who had accidentally shared a photo online before collecting the prize. Trevor had lied to everyone, including Grace. Without millions, Trevor could no longer afford the expensive lifestyle. His debts were enormous. Creditors came after him. The apartment was rented. The sports car was leased. Everything had been borrowed to create an illusion of wealth. Grace suddenly realized she had destroyed her marriage for a fantasy. She came back crying and begged me for another chance. She claimed she had made a terrible mistake. She promised to rebuild our family. But trust cannot be rebuilt with empty words after deliberate betrayal. When the divorce hearing finally arrived, she expected to challenge the settlement. My attorney calmly presented every legal document showing that our financial agreements had been completed fairly before her affair became public. The judge carefully reviewed everything and approved the settlement. Grace left the courtroom with almost nothing she expected to gain. She had traded loyalty for greed and lost both. As I walked outside the courthouse, I realized the greatest victory was never about money. It was about peace. I no longer carried anger or betrayal. I carried freedom. Months later, I rebuilt my business and surrounded myself with honest friends. Life became quieter, but far happier. Looking back, I understood one simple lesson. The biggest trap was never the lottery ticket. It was greed itself. Some people believe money creates happiness. Others believe betrayal always pays. But life has a way of exposing every lie. Grace chased a fortune that never existed and lost one person who truly loved her. I did not win because I became richer. I won because I protected my dignity and refused to let revenge control my future. In the end, the courtroom did not reward the loudest liar. It rewarded preparation, patience, and the truth. Sometimes the greatest victory is simply walking away with your self-respect, while those who betrayed you are left facing the consequences of their own choices. Please like and subscribe.